What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/FatPeopleStories. Alright, this story's called Can't Take It Anymore! Huge Upstairs Neighbor. Please excuse any typos, grammatical error. I'm writing this on my phone with very little sleep. I don't know what accent that was, but it was entertaining. I'm having serious issues with the tenants living above me, and not sure if there's anything I can do about it. I found a very affordable apartment near my college campus, and I'm currently locked into a lease for the next 9 months. Not sure if I can make it that long. I've lived at the same apartment complex for 3 years and haven't had any issues until my upstairs neighbors moved in 2 months ago. Before then, it was a very pleasant complex. Friendly neighbors and everyone generally respected their neighbors. I thought I understood what loud upstairs neighbors were. I thought wrong. There's a couple that lives above me now. The woman is pretty petite, but her boyfriend is a tall, overweight jerk that has to weigh every bit of 500 pounds. I remember the day they moved in. Someone above me was walking around in the living room, and I didn't just hear the thuds from their footsteps, but it sounded like the frickin' floor was about to split in half. I can feel the entire unit shaking whenever this guy is walking around his unit above me. The items on my shelves and picture frames on the wall rattle. The shaking is so violent whenever he moves, I don't even attempt to hang any pictures on my walls anymore. They don't stay on for longer than a week, especially when this guy throws his weight down on whatever he's sitting on. This guy is gross. The walls aren't paper thin, but you can hear your neighbors playing loud music or yelling very faintly. Whenever this guy was in the apartment, I could hear this deep croaking noise. I wasn't sure where it was coming from at first, but after stepping out on my balcony to investigate, I discovered it was the guy belching again and again. Their window was open and I could clearly hear this fat love belting out belch after belch. Their floor plan is identical to mine, and I wish it wasn't. I wish their bedroom wasn't directly over mine. I wish I wasn't afraid of this unreasonably fat lover crashing through the ceiling on top of me. I've had to sleep in the living room several times because it legitimately sounds like they're about to come through the floor whenever they have sex. They have sex at least once a day, and it's freaking horrifying to hear. It sounds like a bomb is going off again and again and again from how the entire building shakes. I can visibly see the ceiling bowing underneath his weight. I know they have a steel bed frame because you can hear the metal groaning and creaking very loudly whenever he's in it. It's freaking gross to get to know these two this well, but I figured out the belching was somewhat intentional. I thought it was some sort of condition at first. He belches all the time whenever he's home, but it always seems to pick up a considerable amount before they start banging each other. It's freaking sick. One night, I couldn't take it anymore and banged on the ceiling with the broomstick, and they responded with intentionally making more noise. This after left a note on their door and politely tried to stop by their unit after work a few times, but they never answered the door. I've purchased a box fan and a white noise machine to help drown it out, but you can still hear him clearly above everything. The saving grace has been my noise-canceling headphones. Yes, it does help, but I can't wear them all the time or sleep in them. I'm desperate for something. I've talked with my landlord several times, but he says there's nothing he can do. I told him about the floor and with walls shaking and cracking, and he says everything has been built to code, and I can't file a complaint for normal living noises. But this isn't your typical normal. In their defense, they also pay rent and have the right to have sex and hang out in their place, but it's gotten unbearable to put up with. Has anyone else dealt with something like this before? Any advice would be helpful. Not sure if there's much I can do, but being able to rant helps a little. Well, OP, I think the only way to settle this, if the landlord can't do anything, is make him regret being so noisy. All right, you can fight back. You can dance in that gray area too. Alright, this story's called Fat Boy Accuses Me of Being Fat-Phobic for Rejecting Him. Hey, yeah! Before telling the story, I wanted to say that I'm new in Reddit, so any mistakes I make would be great if you corrected me in the comments! Sorry, 2 exclamation marks, I had to. Also, English isn't my mother tongue, so I'm sorry if I make some grammatical mistakes or write something wrong. Let's give us some context. This happened 2 years ago. I was 12, 13, and the boy was 14 years old. I was also very thin at that time, and actually I was bullied for that. And the boy knew that. This will be relevant for later. Okay. Now let's tell the story. It all started at school. When does it not? I can't remember the day. I only remember it was during lunch. I was leaving my lunchbox in the classroom with my best friend, and this boy asked me if we could speak. I could tell him that it's fine, and I leave my friend waiting for me at the door of the classroom. The conversation with him was something like this. I wanted to tell you that I like you a lot. You seem very pretty and nice. Can we have a date or something? Oh, thank you, but I'm not looking for a relationship or something right now. Partly it was true, and I didn't know the boy well enough to go out with him. The boy just sighs and goes away, and I return to my friend. Later that day, I was going to the school exit to go home with my friend, the same friend I mentioned before, when I see the same boy and his group approaching me. Hey, I wanted to tell you that you and your fat-phobic crap didn't affect me. You probably don't know how I suffer from my weight. He was one of the most beloved guys in his class and was known for his great self-esteem and his friends saying crap about me and things like that. At that moment, I panicked and tried to get away from that place, but they wouldn't let me. So my friend confronts those guys. Bros, I don't know what you're talking about. My friend is the nicest person in the world, and she never will discriminate someone for how they are physically. They continued for a while until they got bored of seeing me cry and fight with my friend and left. And finally, I was able to go home with a good panic attack and wanting to die. After that, they totally ignored me, and from time to time, I would hear him talk about me behind my back. That would be the conclusion. Sorry for my horrible writing and poor English, but it is difficult to make a post so long in a language that I do not dominate 100%. I hope I have published it in the right place. Ha ha! Bye-bye. Hey man, I for one think your English was quite wealthy. Get it instead of poor. Anyway, I'm sleepy. That guy was cray-cray. You were respectful, you were nice, and he was just being insecure. That was all that was. And his friends probably egged him on or something. So, yeah. Boom shakalaka. Alright, this story's called Two Ham Planets, Same Heist. So this is 2 stories my former friend Ham Planet was involved in, one of which features me and the other features her friend. Let's call her Bacon Planet, who is about the same size as Ham Planet, but I never found her to be as appealing as Ham Planet as a friend. In fact, she seemed much worse than Ham Planet in the personality department. Note, I am not good at grammar in general, so if the computer doesn't catch it, I will not be fixing it, nor will I care if you try to correct me. Wow, this guy's a loose cannon. I don't know if we can let him remain. Or her. So one day, me and Ham Planet were going to one of the chain restaurants in town that sells custom burritos and salads made of ingredients they claim are fresh as possible. I'm sure everyone can guess which one? Chipotle! Anyone who goes to this restaurant knows the burritos end up being large and often can be 2 meals depending on the person. Well, not according to Ham Planet. Yeah, or me. I can't go halvesies on a Chipotle burrito. I have to eat it all. See, one problem Ham Planet often had was that she was out of money she could spend on restaurant food or any leisure activities. This was for a combination of reasons. She doesn't work much in order to receive benefits for her disabilities and therefore has a fairly low amount she can spend each month. She very often will buy expensive meals at her job, basically the same price as a meal at the restaurant featured, so she uses it up fairly quickly. And she cannot grasp the concept of having a good time with a friend that does not require going out to eat or spending money in any way. Therefore, about 2/3 of the time I spent with her, the complaint of, "I don't have any money," would be whined consistently. So, when we went to the restaurant together, I was okay with paying for her to have a burrito, as it wasn't a big deal for me. These burritos are more expensive than I usually pay for food, but as a once-a-month treat, it wasn't a big deal. After all, they are a lot of food, in my opinion, apparently. I was completely prepared to buy her one, but she whined she was really hungry and was completely capable of eating too, giving me her puppy dog eyes and catching me off guard when we were already at the counter. I gave in and bought her too, as I have seen her eat a lot, and a point of pride for her was her record of eating a 2-pound burger served in a restaurant that keeps track of all those who can complete it, and of course seal the deal that it will be a heart attack that kills them. Apparently, she was only the second woman to do so. Anyway, it turns out that no, she couldn't eat 2. In fact, she was only able to eat 1, something that I cannot even do, as at least 1/3 of mine always goes home with me. But as my annoyance at her tricking me into buying her a second one stung, I kept it in and simply let it simmer along with my growing resentment of her. Several years later, she came to me with one of her stories of being swindled by her friend Bacon Planet, a common occurrence and something I often have heard her complain about. This story, however, I failed to have any sympathy for, as these two had gone to the same restaurant where Ham Planet decided she could eat 2 burritos again, but also wanted 2 to take home, so I guess she bought 4. I truly felt sorry for the workers that day, as I also work in the service industry and know the pain of someone wanting a bigger order than expected. But Bacon Planet felt she could also eat 2, so she flashed her puppy dog eyes and waited until they were at the counter before asking Ham Planet to pay for both of them, as she didn't have any money either. I don't know if Ham Planet was actually able to eat 2 this time around, but Bacon Planet was not, and was able to leave with a free burrito to go home with her, leaving Ham Planet out of the about $10 it costs for a burrito. I was told this story near the end of our friendship, so altogether, my sympathy was pretty non-existent. But the delightful karma was not lost on. Ha! What goes around comes around. Speaking of around, how's Ham Planet doing? Sorry, low-hanging fruit, I guess. No, that was somewhat clever-ish. Not really. I know it wasn't good. It didn't even make any sense, but it was bad. Alright, this story's called I Saw a Fat Lady at the Grocery Store. This one time, I was up in the hood working for Pepsi, pulling pallets of diabetes juice out the back and packing the sugar onto the shelves. That's when I heard the whir of an electric wheelchair. Not an electric chair. I turn and see a massive woman motoring up the frozen foods aisle. She's spilling over the sides of the seat, and there's about 5 little kids racing around her in circles. She was greedily eyeballing the frozen lasagna lasagna. The chair comes to a stop and her arm reaches out for the freezer door handle. She opens it about 4 inches before it bangs into the metal cage on the front of her electric cart. For about 10 seconds, she struggles to grasp at the box of lasagna, the door banging against her cart, her arm flopping around, big fingers vainly grasping at the frozen cardboard. It was a moment frozen in time. Then she backs up the chair, still staring at the box of lasagna, and barks at one of the little children. Almost immediately, a slender little arm pokes up in there and snatches the box down. It's put in the front of the cart, and she motored away, out of my life forever. I saw a fat lady at the grocery store. Haha! Well, that was not intentional, I guarantee it, but it's so cool that I'm not gonna correct it. Honestly, this was poetic, like very vividly described. I felt like I was there. I really felt like I was there in Walmart witnessing this Walmartian activity. Beautiful. Alright, this story's called Water Park Embarrassment Helped Me Get Under 400 Pounds. I created a new account because I'm a little embarrassed, but I'm so excited I wanted to share. To begin, I am/was a very morbidly obese kid. In May, I was 13 years old, 5 foot 3 inches tall, and 452 pounds. Yes, 452 pounds. I'm sure you're shocked or even can't believe it, but it was my reality. I don't want to pass off blame, but my dad has been in prison for most of my life, and while my mom is the greatest mom I could ask for, she has been dealing with her own personal problems. Alcohol, bulimia, so it's fair to say my life isn't easy. But earlier this summer, I had a wildly embarrassing situation that has since changed my life for the better. So, I went to a local water park, Lost Island for all my Iowa peeps, with my mom, my aunts, and cousins. Now, I am the only fat person and by far the biggest member of my family. So, the embarrassment of being shirtless at 452 pounds can go without saying. But to add on to all that, the embarrassment escalated. First, after walking up several flights of steps and furiously huffing and puffing just to get to the top of the water slide tower, I was told by the attendant that I was too big to go down the slide in front of everyone, forcing me to do the walk of shame down the stairs. With my legs exhausted, I just decided to lay on the pool chairs with my mom, and just as I feared, I immediately broke the chair. Mortified, my mom and I just spent the rest of the day in the lazy river, while the rest of my cousins spent the day having fun. Well, since then, I took that embarrassment and channeled it into fuel. With a well-balanced diet and doing boxing classes off YouTube, I've currently lost 55 pounds. Now, at 14, 5 foot 6, had a bit of a growth spurt, and 397 pounds. I dropped my BMI from 80.1 to 64. Things are going so great, and I just wanted to share. Hot dog, my dude, that's freaking crazy. To freaking pull that off, 14, the freaking willpower, my man. Like, that's some good stuff. Hey man, fitness is like mostly diet, okay, then rest, then exercise. Exercise is important, but make sure you maintain your diet. And I don't know why I'm lecturing you. You lost 50 pounds already. Good stuff. Alright, this story's called Ham Roommate Ate My Vitamin C's. My college dorm room is connected to the neighboring room by a bathroom, and I just caught my 350 pounds plus roommate from the adjoining room eating my vitamin C's because she just needed a snack. What? Who eats vitamin C's like that? I mean, okay, I'm not gonna answer that. I'll probably post more about her because she's a lot. Is that not intended? She has borderline, so that plays a lot into her behavior and whatnot, so I try to cut her some slack in that regard. This Thanksgiving, I saw her eating an entire pumpkin pie on her own, just woofing it down. I'll never eat pumpkin pie again. Okay, you're a little sensitive. No, obviously it's not cool to have a roommate eat your stuff. That's not debatable. But I'm just saying, you're upset about the Wong part. I'm not tired. I'm not I'm tired, not talking right. Jeez, Walise, I'm saying the wrong things. So, OP, you're upset that they're eating vitamin C just like willy-nilly. Obviously, it's a weird thing, but it's not that weird. They taste good, right? Like, they're gummies. Like, what do you want? They're good. Obviously, don't eat them. It's just wasting stuff because what your body's not going to use in vitamins is just going to piss straight out. Hope you guys are aware of that, because if you have a well-balanced diet, you don't really need to eat a multivitamin or any vitamins because you're getting it all from your diet. But my point is, vitamins are good. They're yummy, so that's not that crazy. Pumpkin pie's yummy. You can't obviously expect someone to restrain themselves 100% of the time. But obviously, she shouldn't have eaten your stuff, so get more upset about the stealing part. That's the part that's irking me, honestly. Like, if you want to eat vitamin C's as a gummy snack, cool, but make sure it's yours, not someone else's. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.